I've expressed numerous times before in this channel that I review watches at a design perspective, and this naturally emphasizes the different selling points of the watch. Now, what if I told you that I've finally found the watch design that even if I tried hard, very hard, I couldn't find a way to love it nor sell it to you? That is the interesting case that we have here with the Ikigai Maru, and even if it sounds like we're starting off in the wrong foot here, there's a valuable lesson that I learned while reviewing this watch. So stick around till the end of the video to find out what I learned from the Ikigai Maru and what you could potentially learn in watch designing. This video is brought to you by Ikigai Watches. We've all been in that situation. A friend approaches us about this exciting new thing, everyone he knows loves it, and he can't wait to share it with you. You build this thing up in your head, believing his hype and adding your own on top of it. Then you see the thing, and now you're left disappointed because it could never live up to the hype that it was compared against. Now you're in a top spot, as the situation warrants a reaction from you that will certainly end up with an awkward comedy worthy of a sitcom skit. That's how I felt about this Ikigai Maru as it was described to me by Oscar, its founder and designer. It has some great ideas that are, on their own, great ideas to have on a watch, but combined together in a watch feels like the wristwatch version of a Power Rangers Megazord. Take for example this textured sailcloth strap from Artem and how it works better than the bracelet that it came with. This is because the stitching on this strap works together with all of the white dial elements and the blue fusing together with the dial. You could switch up the effect by choosing a black strap instead of a blue one. Now this setup matches the bezel color, leaving the blue dial alone to get the spotlight. The texture may make it seem busier than it should be, so a word of caution when pairing with bands. Swapping out a fabric strap is also a good idea. Dive-in tool watches tend to wear NATOs better, and here there's room to enjoy. The gray stripes here may be a bit distracting though, so a plain collar type may suit it better. Artem makes some really great premium straps, but this plain NATO from Archer will also do the trick. I think this is the best combination that I could come up with to enhance my wearing pleasure from the Ikigai Maru. Let's toss it back on the bracelet for a quick comparison. See the difference? The bracelet does seamlessly blend with the case, but now it's a visual power struggle between the white parts and that blue dial. Now let's check out how it feels to work with the Maru. One feature I like with this watch is how great the bezel feels. It's tight, sounds great, and virtually has no backplay. Crown operation is equally simple, with the crown having a lot of surface to grip. Screw it back in and it's sealed and ready to go to work. Next is the clasp that works decently with no slippage when pushing in or when deploying out. This logo and signature works well as a graphics design, but I feel that the emblem would have sufficed. Ikigai provides us with twin trigger endings that makes it super easy to swap bands. Fact: each time you comment and subscribe, a baby seal is saved from the ravages of plastic straws. Be proud, you've saved 22,000 dumb baby seals so far. On closer inspection, the Maru has a distinct personality. If this was coated white, it would almost feel like a stormtrooper watch without the tacky Star Wars branding. This is due to the blocky white prints of the bezel. This really took away a lot from the bracelet, which is actually pretty solid and has great tolerances. What's really amazing about the Maru can be found along the sides of the case. It's not only printed, but it's also deeply textured and framed with these polished chamfers. While there's little visual interest on the bracelet, the clasp is adorned with a fine laser crisp engraving. This uses the same decorating technique on the case back, which I really love. It displays the Nihon Maru, the inspiration for the design. This is really the soul of the watch. Maru is Japanese for circle. Life as a journey is circular, and on Japanese ships, it symbolizes the voyage and safe return of the ship. That's why this case has this grid design carvings. This grid design is also echoed on the dial. The dial hands has this motif. On this model, the indexes appear like a small fleet of ships converging on the center. The deep blue dial masquerades as the ocean under all of these elements. This would have been further emphasized had the logo not been this big. Most of these features are soft and matte compared to the brushed ceramic bezel insert. This plays to the strengths of the case, with its polished edges creating this visual dynamic. Now, all of the notches on the bezel and crown makes more sense. When combined with all of the squarish figures, a cohesive design language starts to take shape. If you look a little harder, you can almost hear Oscar tell you the story of the Maru. His journey from success to failures and back to another success with this collection. So here I was put in a tough spot. I could find some great parts to this watch, but as a whole, I'm left disappointed. That's until all those light parts started to jump to life in a glorious slideshow that's unmatched by any dive watch I've ever handled. It's simply fantastic. It's almost as if there's some LEDs inside this thing. It grabs you and shouts at you that this is life. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. It blasts its surroundings with this spectacle, and the reflections are just so satisfying. And of course, you can get that playability on your wrist. I never imagined seeing Loom from this angle. It's pretty dope, as the kids nowadays may put it. Yes, I could reconfigure this to my liking or even redesign it to gain more horological gravitas. But then let me step down from my high horse and actually tell Oscar what I have the strength to say. The Ikigai Maru is still not my type of boat that I would typically commandeer. But he managed to get me to jump in on board and enjoy the ride. As a designer, I tend to overthink things to get to the finished product. But sometimes I need that friend like Oscar to grab me and tell me, life is an exciting journey. Take the time to enjoy the ride. What a fascinating short journey with the Ikigai Maru. And quite simply, it's not a design that speaks to me, but it doesn't have to be that for me to find enjoyment to it. And it's a humbling experience knowing that I don't have to love a watch to actually enjoy it, and I don't have to even like it to have fun with it. But I'm pretty sure that my preference is very different from many of you, and from the looks of it, and from the looks of the crowdfunding campaign, many of you did like it to the point that it got funded. I liked the original diver that they had, the one that didn't get funded, and I'm hoping that it would one day be funded as well. And I had some discussions with Oscar with that first design, but with this one, yes, I'm going to be honest. I'm not drunk yet, but I'm honest enough right now that this watch is not a design that I would readily buy myself or even fork out my own money. But it doesn't mean that you won't buy it or love it once you own it, because I have owned this for a short while and there's so many different aspects of it that made me enjoy it and had fun with it. Even my boys had fun with it. And just this afternoon, I found out that if you put it in a white NATO strap, this just breathes new life to this design. And now I'm actually on the verge of loving it, despite my initial reservations. And now I'm hoping that the next couple of projects from Oscar would be a little bit different, but at the same time, um, I'm adamant and I'm hopeful that it's going to be a positive one and enjoyable as well. The bezel action is very, very stiff in a good way. It sounds different too. Now I missed that. I have to like turn it all the way around again. My OCD kicking in. Maybe I am drunk.